Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we got for you. We got David Schwartz, more FTX fallout, unfortunately. Hong Kong on crypto. We got the Financial Stability Board on Stablecoin Regs International Standards Center. You're going to want it. Jack McDonald, Polysign, Ripple's CBDCs and partners growing. And how about this one? XRP technical analyst says there's a $27 trigger point. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter for exclusive content. Right now, $1.17 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 2.6%. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin now 24,600 plus. It's up 13.8% on the 7-day. Ethereum 1696 and change. It's up 12% on the 7-day. Tether market cap says it's 70.2 billion. XRP 39 cents. It's up 2.9% on the 7-day. Good morning, everybody. Ledger Stacks. If you haven't signed up for it, the creator of the iPod, what are we waiting for? Click the link underneath. Don't mess around. I'm telling you, this is something you're going to want to have. It's already a list of people. It's only going to get longer. And then there's Privacy Pros. Privacy Pros sent me my Faraday bag, and they also sent me my bill file, which you can see here, which you could put your passwords in, or they call it your keys, right? Your secret keys. They used to confuse me when I was first in this space, right? They call it, don't let anybody get your keys. It's like, well, your keys are passwords. Can we just call them passwords? I don't know. Anyway. You can get a bill file, and in case there's flood, fire damage, or what have you, you can always have peace of mind knowing that you're protecting yourself and your private keys or passwords for your accounts. Make sure you check it out. Right here, this is David Schwartz. Shout out to him. He says, if you know what would have been in this envelope, you're a crypto OG. Well, you know what? I have to admit, I do not know what would have been in that envelope, but it was obviously based around cryptography, not cryptocurrency, he says, and it was basically referencing, I guess, some information. It used to be illegal, he was saying, to share information about algorithms and things of that nature in cryptography. If you were a cryptographer and you shared it with a non-citizen inside the U.S., you could be guilty of a crime exporting munitions. That's how far we've come, ladies and gentlemen. Then there was obviously some troll hopped in here and says, well, that's your subpoena in that envelope to testify in court in regards to Ripple SEC case and how you use retail investors as exit liquidity, which is not true. David Schwartz answers back here. It says, you must be confusing me with the whales who bought under multiple identities into ETH ICO or Bitcoin miners. Go David Schwartz. Yeah, everybody knows about ETHgate, right? There's no putting that back in the bottle. I can tell you that. And here is more fallout, and I take no pleasure in saying so. But this is more fallout here. Hedge fund, I guess Galoy, I guess it is, Capital, one of the victims of FTX collapse, is thrown in the towel after half of its assets got trapped in the bankrupt exchange. The fund has finally decided to shut down and return its remaining assets to investors. I tell you, how much more are we going to see here? Gary Gensler could have stopped this. He allowed this. He met with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX multiple times and chose to not only turn a blind eye to the way the business was being run and do zero due diligence to realize it was being run like a dumpster fire. He gave them a broker-dealer license on top of it. One has to wonder, is that because Sam Bankman-Fried was the second largest Democrat donor? Meanwhile, Hong Kong proposes rules for crypto trading platforms. All crypto trading platforms planning to apply for a license, including pre-existing platforms, should begin to review and revise their systems and controls to prepare for the new regime, the notice said, because Hong Kong is going to allow retail investors to trade larger cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. Atomic Wallet says Saudis are buying. I tell you, instead of all the Saudis are doing, we also know the Saudis are really getting close to joining BRICS. They've been very public and vocal about that idea. But Bob Ross from Sologenic here in Corium, look at what he says here. And this, I think, nails it to where we're going to move into now. Tokenization of securities will be one of the central core components of any ledger that CBDCs will run on. Sologenic already has the tools. Yes, he's right. If you're looking for some magic bullet, this is about as magic of a bullet as it gets. Tokenization of securities will be one of the central core components of any ledger that CBDCs will run on. Now, that one you can write down, right? Because I think Bob's got that one dead to rights right there. And I tell you, moving to the international level, the Financial Stability Board here, many existing stablecoins would not meet the high-level recommendations soon to be set by global standard setters like the Financial Stability Board said, class not. And this is really important because they are saying the international standard setters recommendations for regulating crypto and stable coins on a global level, by the way, are set to be released in just 4 months by July of this year. That's what's happening. Then there's this, and this falls in line exactly with what Bob Ross was saying. Listen to Jack McDonald, the CEO, sitting down with a fireside chat with link to, and remember, Atomic Net that is built for Polysign's use, created by Arthur Brito and David Schwartz of Ripple from the XRP Ledger, co-creators of the XRP Ledger here. Listen to what he's saying here.
If you want to go to your traditional prime broker, your Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, BNY Mellon, State Street, whomever is providing custody or prime brokerage, those organizations do not support digital assets today from a custody standpoint.
Very simply, that means there's a pain point to get everybody into the digital revolution here, to get everyone tokenized. And that's where they come in as Polysign and standard custody, and certainly McGowan that's been bought and purchased too.
On Wednesday, the SEC proposed, keyword proposed, a broadening of the custody rule to include, number one, specifically digital assets into their definition of the assets that would require an investment advisor to use a QC. So they're essentially proposing a codification of what's already existing today, but in the scope of the definition, you never had crypto or digital. Now you do. We think that's a positive from the standpoint of validating that there's a there. It's credentializing.
That's right.
Just like the president's executive order in the summer basically said, hey, regulators, go regulate this space. What President Biden was saying is there's a there. This isn't just a corner case. It's big enough to pay attention to. I think what the SEC came out and said on Wednesday was just that. The other thing they said was that qualified custodians to support this new asset class need to do a lot of things to meet our enhanced definition around what it means to be a qualified custodian for digital.
And Polysign has done that. And they are standing there like a catcher over a home plate saying, we're right here. And you know what? There's an entire industry, there's an entire sector known as the capital markets that will need to tokenize, and they have no idea how to do it properly. And you know what? Polysign's sitting right there, right over a home plate, just like the catcher, going, come on in here, put it right in the mitt. We got you back. They're going to take care of it. I couldn't be more excited. Will Ripple sign Singapore as its next CBDC customer? Look, I played over the weekend. It was Brooks Entwistle who basically said that there is a 4-man team in Singapore working on central bank digital currencies there. Come on in. Now, we also had some other news out of that as well, and I believe it was, let's see, I want to find this for us really quickly here so I don't have to read the whole article to you. 1 second here. Let me find it. 1 second. There it is. Now, remember this, too, because you know what? It was also reported that January, the fintech company Ripple landed the southeastern European country Montenegro to pilot a digital stable coin. So now we know about the Kingdom of Bhutan. We know about the Republic of Palau. Now we know about Montenegro, right? And we know that there are a couple dozen others, according to James Wallace, that we still don't know about. And Brooks Entwistle telling us about Singapore and a 4-man team there working on central bank digital currencies. I got to tell you, this is getting pretty interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And understanding what Bob Ross had said. Let's go back there for just a quick hot second, if we could. If I could. 1 second. Tokenization of securities will be one of the central core components of any ledger that CBDCs will run on. See, all of this is tying in together. That's what I'm seeing. Then there's this reminder right here. New ODL partner on the way, and this may be a few months old, but nevertheless, this proves that Ripple is already acting as if they've lost the lawsuit by continuing to pursue massive adoption around the rest of the world. Leaving the United States in only one position if they don't choose to get with it, which is get left out. And I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. Now, that and 50 cents won't get you a cup of coffee, but that's my personal digital perspective. It's not advice. But he says, as a reminder here, if you know, Joy Lucas exchange in the UAE to discuss how Ripple enables money transfers, on-demand liquidity using XRP. The post concludes, we look forward to collaborating, as Rathacommon always does. He shares some existing Ripple partners already, so you can see the knee bone connected to the leg bone. This is not a huge risk to go out on a limb and say there's going to be some cooperation and collaboration here. Now let's talk about price, because I know price always gets everybody a little buggy, right? I started calling the numbers on my show because I don't really look at price. I follow fundamental news. And then it forces me at least twice a day when I'm doing the videos to make sure I'm paying attention to price, because I focus so much on what the actual news, the fundamental news is out here. Now, this happens to be a real up close look at where we are right now. And shout out to Egg Rat Crypto for this one. And then he shares this also today as a reminder, using the XRP Fibonacci circle with the W pattern. He sees $27 in the books here. Now let's talk about this, because this isn't there's a point I want to get at about this. This isn't just simply, $27, let's talk about it. He says, I've been stating that XRP will hit $27 since I've tried different technical analysis tools, and $27 keeps on being aligned with my TA. And he's not the only one. We've seen it with Crypto Bull 2020. We've seen it with Dark Defender and others. There's something out here. Now, it doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but they're all seeing something and reading the tea leaves the same way. And I find that to be very compelling, at least. When XRP finishes the second part of the W formation and closes monthly candle above $2.20, I will long it to Valhalla, he says. I love the way he says it. This is what he's talking about, this W pattern, and this is where we are in this. And you can see that there is a massive, massive line of support here, that if that's broken, these other rings down below could be where you go, right? I mean, that's just the way the numbers work and the charts speak. But if it follows this W pattern in some degree, and you can see this W pattern is obviously not exact, but that's where the lowest dip was. And if we have that followed, or at least rhymes, he's saying that if we get to $2.20, it is going to be, all but guaranteed, basically, that we would reach that $27 mark. But if you look at the time markers where these things are, it's 2024 before we get to the $2.20. Now, obviously, look, none of this is in stone, but this is what the indicators, the charting tools are suggesting, right? So if that be the case, right, then you could be looking at 2024 by the time you hit a couple bucks and change. And then you could be even further 6 months to a year before you see that $27 range. Look, I'm here for it. I'm just trying to provide as much objectivity on all sides of the equation, whether it be sharing someone's knowledge like Egg Rag Crypto about technical analysis, or whether we're talking about fundamental news and watching the geopolitical landscape shift when it comes to stablecoin regulation or the adoption of central banks partnerships with Ripple. All these things matter because they all add up to a final goal, which is to see XRP used in the manner that it was intended. And I'm here for it one way or the other. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.